Welcome back to The Spirits Educator. My name is Brian Donnelly. The Spirits Educator is a digital education platform and trade resource for the distilled spirits industry. My goal is to provide in-depth spirits information, brand transparency, and category education for distributor sales teams, service industry and hospitality members, and motivated enthusiasts. I currently work for a major wine and spirits distributor, and my work here on The Spirits Educator is completely unaffiliated with my current employer. Today I'm going to be covering the Irish whiskies produced at the Midleton Distillery, and I hope to answer the simple question: what is the difference between Jameson, Powers, Redbreast, and Spot? I'm going to be referencing a script that I wrote for this video so that I can communicate all the information correctly. First, I'm going to start with an overview. Irish whiskey is incredibly popular in the United States, even outside of St. Patrick's Day. Many of the most popular Irish whiskey brands worldwide are all made in one place: the Midleton Distillery, both the new and the old distillery, in County Cork, Ireland. It can be difficult for the ordinary Irish whiskey fan to understand the subtle differences between brands. In this video, I will explain how 4 popular brands from the Midleton Distillery are quite different. This video is not a comprehensive history of these brands, the Midleton Distillery, or the Irish whiskey category. Due to limited availability in most markets, I will not cover Jameson 18-year, Midleton Very Rare, or Midleton Barry Crockett. Here's the simple definition. Irish whiskey is traditionally triple distilled using pot stills and must be produced in Ireland, that's both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, and barrel aged for at least 3 years. Now here's the more complicated definition. Irish whiskey must be distilled in Ireland from a mash of cereal grains. Irish whiskey must be distilled to an alcoholic strength of less than 94.8% alcohol by volume. That's 189.6 proof. Irish whiskey must be distilled so that the distillate has an aroma and flavor derived from the materials used. Irish whiskey must contain no additives except for water and caramel coloring. Irish whiskey must be stored in wooden casks not exceeding 700 liters. That's 185 gallons. In Ireland for no less than 3 years. Now let's define the different types of Irish whiskey. Irish malt whiskey is produced from a mash bill of just 100% malted barley. This type of whiskey is traditionally triple, sometimes doubled, distilled in pot stills to encourage complex flavors and a full, oily texture. Irish grain whiskey is produced from a mash bill containing 30% malted barley. The remaining comprises unmalted cereal grains such as corn, wheat, or barley. This type of whiskey is continuously distilled using column stills to achieve a lighter style, usually blended with malt whiskey or pot still whiskey. Irish pot still whiskey is produced using a mash bill containing a minimum of 30% malted barley and a minimum 30% unmalted barley. The remainder of the mash must be malted or unmalted barley and may contain up to 5% other unmalted cereal grains, usually oats or rye. This type of whiskey must be distilled in pot stills, usually triple distilled. And finally, the most popular Irish whiskey category. Blended Irish whiskey is produced from a mixture of 2 or more different types of whiskey. The whiskeys that make up the blend may also be chosen from different distilleries, ages, types of cask finishing, and flavor profiles in order to achieve the desired flavor and consistency. Blended Irish whiskey tends to be smooth and mellow with a range of flavors and a light, silky mouthfeel. Blended Irish whiskey is the largest and hands down most popular type of Irish whiskey. Just to add a note here, anytime I say single, it's denoting a single distillery. So single malt or single pot still means that that product is made from one single distillery. The first brand I'm going to cover is Jameson. Jameson is the best-selling Irish whiskey globally and the flagship brand for the Midleton Distillery in County Cork. Founded in 1780 when John Jameson established the Bow Street Distillery in Dublin, which is still a big tourist attraction for visitors, the brand has survived the rise, fall, and rebirth in popularity of Irish whiskey, including the significant consolidation that moved the brand to the Midleton Distillery in 1975. Regular Jameson is a blended Irish whiskey, including both pot still whiskey, that's malted and unmalted barley, and grained whiskey, usually made from corn or wheat. This whiskey is triple distilled in copper pot stills, aged in a combination of ex-American bourbon barrels and ex-Spanish sherry casks for a minimum of 4 years and bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. The next expression is Jameson Black Barrel. The Black Barrel expression is aged in double charred ex-bourbon barrels. This expression takes mature Jameson and ages it in a second ex-bourbon barrel that has been recharred to deliver a rich, smooth, and complex taste. Master Cooper Gerald Buckley travels to the Kelvin Cooperage in Kentucky once a year to supervise the charring of these barrels. This product is bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. Jameson Caskmates Stout Edition was first released in 2013. The Caskmates Stout Edition came from a collaboration between the Jameson brand and a local Irish craft brewery. This expression is regular Jameson finished in Irish stout beer seasoned barrels for 6 months. This product is bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. The next expression, Jameson Caskmates IPA Edition, is the second expression in the Caskmates series. This expression is base Jameson that has been cask finished in craft IPA or Indian Pale Ale beer barrels. This product is bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. Jameson Cold Brew capitalizes on the complementary flavors of Irish whiskey and coffee. This expression combines regular Jameson and cold brew coffee made with Arabica beans sourced from Brazil and Colombia. This product has no added sugar and contains 17 milligrams of caffeine per serving, with a serving being 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters, and is bottled at 60 proof or 30% ABV. James Powers, a Dublin innkeeper and whiskey connoisseur, founded the John Lane Distillery in 1791. His son, John Powers, took over his father's operation in 1870. He expanded the family business even further by entering into a partnership with his son, James, and forming the John Powers & Son Company in 1821. The Powers brand features many historic moments, including the first individually bottled whiskey in Dublin. That's the Powers Gold Label. One of Ireland's first trademarks in 1877. That's the Diamond P logo. And used in the original Irish coffee created in 1943. Unfortunately, due to 2 world wars, American prohibition, and tariffs imposed by the United Kingdom, the brand has had to merge with 2 other distilleries to form the Irish Distillers to save the Irish whiskey category. The brand moved distilling operations to the Midleton Distillery in 1975, but bottling continues in Dublin. Powers Gold Label carries on the legacy of the first whiskey in Dublin to be individually bottled. This expression has a pot still content of 70%, is aged between 5 and 7 years in ex-American whiskey barrels, is non-chill filtered, and bottled at 86.4 proof or 43.2% ABV. The Powers 3 Swallow expression is a modern representation of Irish pot still whiskey. This expression contains 100% pot still whiskey, aged between 5 and 7 years, non-chill filtered, and bottled at 86.4 proof or 43.2% ABV. Powers John Lane is the brand's ultimate expression of Irish whiskey. This expression contains 100% pot still whiskey, aged a minimum of 12 years in mainly ex-American whiskey barrels, with a small inclusion of Spanish oak. This expression is non-chill filtered and bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. So if both the Redbreast and Spot Whiskey brands are both single pot still Irish whiskeys produced from the same distillery, how are they different? The Midleton Distillery is a massive and highly technical operation which allows master distiller Brian Nation to create 3 different styles of pot still Irish whiskey depending on the final brand in which the distillate will be used. The light distillate is herbal and crisp. The medium distillate has fruit notes of apple and pear, and the robust distillate is spicy, full-bodied, and aromatic. The Redbreast range only uses the light and medium distillates, except for the 21-year and 27-year-old expressions, which use all 3 styles. The Spot Whiskey brand only uses the medium distillate style. The different distillate styles, barrel types, and cask finishings allow one distillery to produce multiple brands of single pot still Irish whiskey that will all taste very different. Fun fact, there are about 1.7 million casks of aging whiskey between the 2 Midleton distillery facilities. The next brand I'm going to cover is Redbreast. Redbreast is a single pot still Irish whiskey produced from grain to glass at the new Midleton Distillery in County Cork. The brand was created by the Dublin-based merchant Gilbey's Wine and Spirits Import, who would source distillate from local distilleries, in this case it was the Jameson Distillery, then age, label, and release the whiskey themselves under their own brand. The Redbreast range boasts the complexity and distinctive qualities of Irish pot still whiskey, with rich, dry fruit flavor from the sherry cask influence. The name Redbreast comes from the robin redbreast bird that can still be found on the label of each expression. The inspiration for the name came in 1903, when then Ghibelli's chairman, an avid bird watcher, who noticed that the color of the whiskey matched the color of the chest of the robin redbreast. Today, Redbreast is the largest selling single pot Irish whiskey globally. I just want to share a quote from the Midleton Distillery's master blender, Bill Layton, about Redbreast. Redbreast is a reflection of Irish whiskey as it used to be, reflecting the classic single pot still style. Sherry butts in particular have a big impact on the flavor of Redbreast, contributing to the signature dark, dried fruit notes. The Redbreast 12-year-old is the brand's flagship expression and the definitive introduction to the Redbreast line. This product is aged for a minimum of 12 years in a combination of ex-American whiskey barrels and ex-Spanish Oloroso sherry casks, and then bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. The Redbreast cask strength is the big brother to the 12-year-old expression, and another permanent line extension. This product is Redbreast in a natural, full-flavored state, uncut with no additional water added before bottling, non-chill filtered and bottled at cask strength between 120 and 130 proof, or between 60 and 65% ABV. The Redbreast Listowel edition is a unique collaboration between Bodega Listowel in Jerez, Spain, and the Midleton Distillery. This product is aged in ex-American whiskey barrels and ex-sherry casks for between 9 and 12 years before being cask finished for an additional year in first fill, hand-selected Oloroso sherry butts from Bodega Listowel. This expression is a permanent addition to the family of brands, non-chill filtered and bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. The Redbreast Small Batch Edition is produced exclusively for the United States market. This expression is a marriage of 48 or fewer barrels that have been aged between 9 and 10 years in first and second fill ex-American whiskey barrels. Then that final mingling of barrels is cask finished for 70 days in 18 first fill ex-sherry casks. This product is bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. The Redbreast 15-year-old is the only expression in the range with a reduced sherry cask influence and a more distillate-forward flavor profile. This product is aged in a combination of first fill and second fill ex-American whiskey barrels, as well as ex-Spanish Oloroso sherry casks for a minimum of 15 years, non-chill filtered and bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. The Redbreast 21-year-old is aged for a minimum of 21 years in a combination of first fill ex-American whiskey barrels and first fill ex-sherry casks with a higher percentage of sherry cask finished whiskey in the final blend. This product is bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV and is a bottling of their smallest batch size. The Redbreast 27-year-old expression is the oldest permanent release in the family of brands. This product is aged for a minimum of 27 years in ex-American whiskey barrels, ex-Oloroso sherry casks, and Ruby port casks, and bottled at 109.2 proof or 54.6% ABV. Except for the 15-year-old expression, the range has a sherry-forward flavor profile of dried fruits, but the 27-year-old expression has a different flavor profile of fleshy and stone fruits because of the addition of the port cask finish. The final brand I'm going to cover is Spot Whiskey. The Mitchell family created the Spot Whiskey brand as a Bonder whiskey in 1887. Mitchell & Son was originally a wine merchant importer in Dublin. They began filling their empty wine and fortified wine barrels with sourced whiskey from the local Jameson Distillery, before returning these barrels to age in their cellar warehouse. The Spot name originated from the Mitchell's family practice of marking casks with a dab of colored paint to indicate their aging potential. The Spot name originated from the Mitchell family's practice of marking casks with a dab of colored paint to indicate their age potential. There was a green spot, yellow spot, blue spot, and red spot. Green spot is the first expression in the Spot whiskey range. This expression is a non-age statement single pot still Irish whiskey aged between 7 and 10 years in a combination of ex-American whiskey and ex-sherry casks. This product is non-chill filtered and bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. The Yellow Spot Expression is aged for 12 years in 3 separate and very different oak casks: ex-American whiskey, ex-sherry butts, and ex-Spanish Malaga casks. Malaga is a sweet, fortified wine from the city of Malaga on the south coast of Spain. The influence of the Malaga cask brings an exotic sweet note to the whiskey, making it truly a delightful taste experience. Unlike a traditional cask finish, aging the entire period in each separate cask allows the master blender to perfectly mingle the 3 together to achieve his desired flavor profile. This product is non-chill filtered and bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. The Red Spot Expression is aged over 15 years in a combination of ex-American whiskey barrels, ex-sherry butts, and ex-Sicilian Marsala wine casks. This product is non-chill filtered and bottled at 92 proof or 46% ABV. The Blue Spot Expression is aged for a minimum of 7 years but includes some much older whiskey. This whiskey is aged in a combination of ex-bourbon barrels, ex-sherry butts, and ex-Portuguese Madeira casks. This product is non-chill filtered and bottled at cask strength. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. If you want to read up on any of this information in a little more detail, I'll have a link below to the write-up I have on my website. If you're interested in supporting the Spirits Educator, please consider becoming a Patreon member. I'll have a link for that below as well. And as always, please drink responsibly.